The city was a beast, a sprawling, living entity that thrived on chaos and order in equal measure. Its veins were the streets, its heartbeat the constant hum of activity that never ceased, even when the sun dipped below the horizon. A concrete jungle pulsating with energy. Neon lights flickered like the synapses of a giant brain, each one a signal, a message, a story waiting to be told. The city was alive and it demanded attention. Even at night it never slept. The streets were filled with people, each one a part of the city's grand narrative. Cars honked, people chattered, and the air was thick with the scent of food, exhaust, and possibility. Headlights cut through the darkness, slicing through the night like knives. They revealed glimpses of the city's underbelly, the parts that were hidden in the daylight but came alive under the cover of darkness. The midnight driver was a shadow, a phantom. He moved through the city like a ghost, unseen but always felt. His presence was a whisper in the wind, a shiver down the spine, a blur of speed defying the laws of physics. His car was an extension of himself, a sleek, powerful machine that roared through the streets with a purpose. It was more than just a vehicle. It was a symbol of his defiance, his rebellion against the city's constraints. The Midnight Driver was a legend. Stories of his exploits were whispered in hushed tones, passed from person to person like a secret. He was a myth, a figure of awe and fear, whispered about but never caught. The authorities chased him, but he was always one step ahead, a shadow slipping through their fingers. He was a ghost in the machine, a phantom in the night. Some said he was a vigilante, a protector of the weak, a defender of the downtrodden. He struck fear into the hearts of those who preyed on the innocent, a dark night in a city of shadows. Others a modern-day Robin Hood. He took from the corrupt and gave to the needy, a beacon of hope in a world of darkness. His actions were a statement, a challenge to the status quo. The truth? Lost in the roar of the engine, his true identity, his motives were mysteries wrapped in enigmas. All that was known was the sound of his car, a roar that echoed through the night, a promise of something more. Tonight, he was on a mission. The city was his playground and he moved through it with a purpose, a goal that only he knew. His eyes were fixed on the horizon, his mind on the prize. A high-stakes game of cat and mouse. The city's streets were a maze, and he navigated them with the skill of a master. His pursuers were relentless, but he was always one step ahead, a ghost in the night. The prize? Something more valuable than gold. It was a symbol, a token of his defiance, his rebellion. It was a promise of change, a beacon of hope in a city that never slept. Alex sat in the diner, the dim lights casting long shadows across the checkered floor. He had been coming here for years, but tonight felt different. The smell of coffee and fries hung heavy in the air, mingling with the faint scent of old leather and nostalgia. It was a comforting aroma, one that usually brought a sense of peace. His friends were laughing, their voices a cheerful hum in the background, but Alex felt restless. He couldn't shake the feeling that something was about to change, something big. A news alert flashed on the TV screen, catching his attention. The headline was bold and urgent, demanding to be noticed.
A priceless artifact. Stolen. The details were scarce, but the implications were clear. This was no ordinary theft.
His phone buzzed, breaking his concentration. An unknown number flashed on the screen, making his pulse quicken. The text was simple. 11 p.m., Pier 13, be ready. It was cryptic, yet it carried a weight that Alex couldn't ignore.
Alex's heart pounded, each beat echoing in his ears. He clenched his fists, trying to steady his nerves. He knew this was no ordinary message. It was a call to action, a summons that he couldn't refuse. This was his chance to witness the legend firsthand. The stories he had heard, the whispers in the dark, they all led to this moment. Alex took a deep breath, steeling himself for what was to come. The night was just beginning, and he was ready to face whatever awaited him at Pier 13.
Pier 13 was deserted. The air was thick with the smell of salt and the sound of the waves crashing against the pilings. A sleek black car roared to a stop in front of Alex, the midnight driver, in the flesh.
Get in.
His voice was gruff, commanding. Alex didn't hesitate. He got in. The engine roared back to life. They sped off into the night. The chase had begun. The city became a blur of neon lights and screeching tires. Police sirens wailed in the distance, getting closer.
Alex gripped the seat as the midnight driver weaved through traffic. His heart raced. He had never felt so alive.
The midnight driver was a master. He maneuvered the car with precision. Each turn, each near miss, was a calculated risk.
Yeah.
The chase seemed to last forever. But finally, the midnight driver pulled into a deserted alleyway. The engine sputtered and died.
He turned to Alex. "Take this," he said, pressing a small antique key into Alex's hand. "It unlocks more than just a door. It unlocks a mystery. Are you ready?"
Alex stared at the key, his mind racing with questions. Where had it come from? What door did it open? The key seemed to hold secrets, and Alex felt a shiver run down his spine as he contemplated its significance. It was cold and heavy in his palm, almost as if it carried the weight of the mysteries it was meant to unlock. The metal felt ancient, worn by time and countless hands that had held it before him. Alex couldn't shake the feeling that this key was a pivotal piece in a much larger puzzle. This was more than just a ride. It was a test, an initiation. Alex knew that the journey ahead would be fraught with challenges, each one designed to test his resolve and determination. The stakes were high, and failure was not an option. He had to prove himself worthy of the task at hand.
He looked up, but the midnight driver was gone. Vanished. The street was eerily silent, the only sound being the distant hum of the city. Alex felt a pang of unease. Who was the midnight driver, and why had they chosen him for this mission? The questions swirled in his mind, but there were no immediate answers.
But there on the passenger seat was a note. "Find me," it read. The handwriting was elegant, almost regal, and it sent a chill down Alex's spine. The message was clear, yet cryptic. Who was he supposed to find, and where should he start looking? The note was a clue, but it raised more questions than it answered, and a single playing card was tucked beneath it. The card seemed out of place, yet it felt significant. Alex picked it up, examining it closely. It was worn, as if it had been handled many times before. The card held a story, one that Alex was now a part of. The Queen of Spades. The game was afoot. The card was a symbol, a marker of the journey he was about to embark on. Alex felt a surge of determination. He was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. The Queen of Spades was his guide, his beacon in the darkness. Alex had a feeling this was only the beginning. The night was filled with possibilities, each one more daunting than the last. But Alex was ready. He took a deep breath, steeling himself for the journey ahead. The game was afoot, and he was determined to see it through to the end.